Good morning, everybody. Well, at least it's morning for me. Today we are going to be taking a look at the 2021 Giant Revolt Advanced 2. With the inception of this channel, I wanted to ride a lot of these bicycles that I'm doing these unboxings on, but with the current state of affairs and the lack of said bicycles, there's just no demos. It's just almost impossible to test ride a bike like you have seen so many times. And that's what makes this bicycle so interesting, actually. This is gonna be Kayla's bike, so much like my Orbea Ois that I have, I'm actually going to have this bike here in my household, and we're going to get to test ride it. I'm probably gonna save the weighing until the follow-up video, only because I've got some tires coming for this thing. So I would like to weigh it before I change the tires, pretty much stock, and then once I put some smaller tires, more road-oriented tires on it, I'd like to weigh it again. I'm probably gonna put 30s or 32s on it, so not a huge size difference, but they will be slick. But first things first, we have to actually get to the bike shop before we can start unboxing this beast. Let's go. Snips.
I don't like these things. Nope.
This is the Revolt.
I went with this over the Live because it was really pretty.
Well,
Need four in there?
No, because I just need something stable to take your bar tape off without ripping it.
Right.
What is this? Oh yeah. All right, everybody, so we are finally here with Kayla's brand new bicycle. First things first though, since the channel's been doing so well, and you maybe saw my previous thank you video, I did buy some upgrades for my camera here. The first thing that I bought is a new microphone. So just let me know what you guys think. I'm foregoing the lav mic, even though I think that it probably sounds a little bit better. That's why I'm closer to the camera than I normally am. I'm experimenting a little bit. I got this new microphone because of you guys, so I want to thank you. So first things first, this is not my bicycle. This is actually Kayla's bicycle. Since this actually is a bike that's gonna be in my household, much like that Orbea Ois, I wanted to actually take this puppy out and test it on some of the local trails, some of the gravel trails. Once I started doing that video, I quickly realized it's gonna be much longer than 10 minutes and I needed to cut it down. So this first video is gonna be like my normal one. This is gonna be the first impressions. This colorway is 100% what I wanted from that Giant TCR that was rosewood. This is the rosewood that I think would look beautiful on that TCR. So I was very, very happy. We had to order this bike sight unseen. Took about a month to get here for her. I was happy that she loved how it looked because we all know that's much more important to the lady folk.
I went with this over the Live because it was really pretty.
I had to wake up pretty early to get here to film this before we open. I've got some major baggage under my eyes. So the bike is beautiful, at the very least. You can say that. I love the color, I love the lines, the carbon work is great on this thing. The bike is coming with the GRX 11-speed. It is full hydraulic from top to bottom. I love the GRX stuff. The ergonomics of those levers feel amazing to me. Like, I would rather have this GRX on my bike than I would Ultegra. Only downside is this is slightly heavier because it's beefier. I mean, it is made to be on a gravel bike. The handlebars we did change. The handlebars that came with it, I think, were like 44s or something. They were rather wide for her. They also had a little bit of a back sweep. That is a personal preference thing. She wanted a more traditional road bike feel in the cockpit because in all reality, what she is gonna use this bike for is gonna be mainly road riding, but she wanted something that if she wants to ride another peel out. But she wanted something that if she wanted to ride to the greenways, because we've got a few like 3 to 4 mile greenways that are gravel. If she wanted to go do that, you have the opportunity with this bike. Now, this bike isn't gonna be amazing as a road bike, but if you have noticed in one of my previous videos, Tucker has a Revolt, and he was rotating through and we were averaging like 22 miles an hour on it. So it's not terrible as a road bike. It's just not, you know, the bee's knees when it comes to that. It's not what it's designed for. If I was gonna have just one bike to do everything with, it would be a bike like this. It'd be a gravel bike. Believe you me, she even said it, this bike is so much more comfortable than a road bike. And I think 90% of that is the tires. I don't care what you do to carbon work, the carbon can feel amazing and ride amazing, but to me, like a crappy laid up carbon bike that's got 45s on it that you can run at 50 PSI is gonna be way more comfortable than an amazing carbon work bike with like Bianchi's countervail, you know, attached to a bike that's got 25s on it. That crappy carbon bike is gonna ride nicer only because it's running 50 PSI versus 100 or 110 or 90. The bike is coming with a Praxis crank, and like I said in the past, I believe Giant has bought Praxis, and that is now one of their OEM components. They're not bad at all. They're about as good as, like, I'd say maybe Sora. You know, that's kind of what it feels like. They're not super light, but they're a real durable crank. That's probably one thing down the road I would upgrade on this bike is the crank set. We did go with the model that had the double on it because she is gonna be riding this on the road, so need a little bit more gear range. The wheels that it comes with, at this price point, this like $2,500 price point, Giant is known for doing a wheel set that is relatively bomb-proof, minus the Propel that I did have, because those wheels were garbage, but that was another life. These wheels are bomb-proof. They work amazingly well, but they're not a lightweight wheel set. But that's what you get at a $2,500 price point. I'm not faulting Giant for that. That's not a knock on this bike. If you want a Giant Revolt, you need to get the next one up, and it's gonna come with carbon wheels. But there again, that bike's probably another grand tacked on to it. That's usually how the hierarchical structure goes. And of course, it is tubeless. At this price point, everything's gonna be tubeless. It comes with some cross-cut tires. They are, I think, 45s, 38s. They're 38s, sorry, my bad. They are 38s right out of the box. They sealed up super easy. They're already taped. You just have to squirt the stands in. You're good to go. The bike can take up to 45s, which is huge. For the gravel that we have around here, the gravel races that we have around here, I think that's just a little bit overkill. I would probably put something that big if I was gonna do like Dirty Kansas that my rear end was gonna take a beating on. That sounds really terrible. So one of the big things that this bike borrows from like the Giant Defy is the defuse combo of seat post and seat tube. So the way that they have this engineered, it is supposed to deflect a lot of the vibration through the bike. It does add weight to a bike. That's why they really only do it on their endurance road bike and the Revolt. The bike is relatively slacked out. It's made for being very stable on descents. I am gonna test that out on a few mountain bike trails. Don't tell Kayla. Whenever I test this thing out, I'm probably gonna do that in the next couple weeks, go ahead and get that recorded. We did go ahead and pair this bike with her Shimano pedals, road pedals, because that's what she's gonna be doing right off the bat for a while at least. Even the gravel trails that we have around here are relatively tame. If you unclip, you're not gonna get off and walk. So we've got the road pedals on there because when you're riding for long distances, they are more comfortable. Like when I did the Love Valley Roubaix, I even raced in my road shoes and pedals for that reason. Since it is GRX from top to bottom, you obviously have the nicer GRX brakes. They work great, I haven't tested them, but we've never had any complaints. Every time we have to upgrade a bike with GRX on it, they bleed super easy. They're Shimano's. I mean, I think I've said enough about how much I like Shimano brakes. I'm a fanboy. Giant also boasts that they have this like Duff Fender down tube protector, but it's the same thing that they put on their mountain bikes, and it does have the rack mounts for the front where you can run panniers or anything like that for a very, very long ride. So my first impressions of this bike are what they were when this thing was brand new. I've been in love with this bike ever since. I've thought about getting one for me personally, so when Kayla wanted one, I was pretty happy because that means that I'm gonna get to test it out a little bit. Don't worry, I'm not gonna ride your bike a lot. I just wanna ride it to see how they ride. Well, there you have it. There is the first look from me on the Giant Revolt Advanced I'm gonna get out there and ride this thing, or I'm gonna make Kayla do it so she's in a video. But at the very least, I'll have that out in about a week after this one, I guess, hopefully, as long as it doesn't rain. If it's raining, I've got an XR4 I gotta show you guys. That's pretty banging. Anyway, guys, I will see everyone in the next one. Bye-bye.